and what the judge and the master has been doing to us is totally unfair. That we can't communicate with the people that we represent until a decision is made. So I can tell you about the decision that was made on affordable units. So how does that affect KRE? The only thing I can tell you is that they're going to meet their fair share obligation, which comes out to, I just want to get a clarification. Can I say that, Council?
Yes, Mayor, it's part of the agreement.
Their obligation is 96. So we agree on that. And fair share housing is okay with it. What we're fighting them with, and which, by the way, I'm tired of being threatened with, they're gonna hold me in contempt of court. There comes a time where that's not gonna work anymore with me. I've done everything that I'm supposed to do, but I'm gonna tell you why I've done everything I'm supposed to do. And so is this council. Because if I was representing myself, they'd put me in jail already. I represent you, and that would be a disgrace for me to be put into jail. So where we're at now is tomorrow, we're ordered, and it's nothing but harassment. We're ordered by the courts, it picks a day when there's a primary going on, that none of us will be in town. He's taking us up to Sussex County and locking us in a room, and we're gonna negotiate again. And we've been negotiating in good faith. And he's threatened us, this is the master, not the judge. Hopefully, with the grace of God, I'll be able to talk to the judge tomorrow and plead our case. So what we're upset with Mondelez is, we're not happy at the way they want to build. That said, I can't tell you any more, but I want you to know and feel comfortable that when we have a decision, I will call a meeting, and the meeting won't be in here, we'll do it at the school, because I would expect a lot more people to come out. I want to tell you, and again, you're here, so I praise you for taking the time and effort to come out and listen to us, but I'm disappointed at what this crowd is. We've worked so hard to do this. It's taken up, I can't tell you how many nights, and how my blood pressure has raised from this, that I have to take a pill. It's ludicrous. It really is. But that's because we care. So I'm gonna open it up to you, and you can ask us questions, and if I could answer them, or our attorneys could answer them, or our planners, and by the way, guys, I wanna give each and every one of you praise. Counselor, Darlene, you did a great job. Darlene's our planner, who has fought with us by our side to get that number reduced. You may have heard Matt Perez yell out, there's not enough land. Well, it's real quick. Not enough land? Oh my God, I promise you I won't give the whole check. Not enough land? Mike, I've been keeping this in for over a year. It's everything we believe that they should know, we can't tell them. If I did this on my own, he'd have me in jail. They're wrong. The system is broke. So, the land doesn't matter. It could be any building that goes out. Any building. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. You know what? This is a venting experience for me. We've been keeping it in so long. And to everyone that's in this audience and that goes on Facebook and asks us a question on Facebook, shame on you. I give out my cell phone number to everybody. You can hear from the horse's mouth. I pick up the phone every time I get a call. Call me. Don't listen to the rumors, because that's what they are. They're rumors. All right. I'm going to open it up to the public for any comments you have.
Mayor, if I may.
Well, the councilor wants to speak.
Thank you. Mayor, just by way of background, I think you would help our residents to understand how we got here, as far as the Supreme Court ordered us, and the whole process in less than 2 minutes. I'm going to turn this over to Mike Edwards.
I said they understand that we wouldn't do this in our right mind.
Yeah, so for everyone, I'm Mike Edwards. I'm an attorney. I do only affordable housing litigation. I'm with the law firm Serenity and Associates. We represent over 70 towns, navigating the quagmire that is affordable housing. It's very complicated, it's very dense, it's very controversial, and we try to help mitigate the damages associated with it. Largely, that's our job. But the bottom line is, unlike other areas of law, this doesn't end in a no cause. I can't defend you guys to the judges. Oh, yep, you don't have to do it. The Supreme Court has defined this as a constitutional obligation, so it ends in compliance. There are two ways you can get there. You can get there by complying voluntarily, in which case you maintain some control over where it goes and how many units and densities and stuff like that, or you can thumb your nose at it, in which case a developer or a nonprofit entity can sue you into compliance in a much more onerous way that's much more detrimental to the community. So we know this is unpopular. We know a lot of you probably don't like it, but you get to compliance with a carrot or a stick. And just by way of brief background, this all started really in 1975. There's Mount Laurel 1. The towns don't do anything. They still use their power to zone to exclude. So the Supreme Court in 1983 decides Mount Laurel 2. And Mount Laurel 2, they say, okay, well, since we can't force you to do anything, we're going to create the builder's remedy. And what the builder's remedy is if a town hasn't met their quota, and that's what it is, a developer can come sue you and get high density development and a set aside for affordable housing, and you pretty much lose control of your own zoning. So the legislature steps in 1985, they say we have to control this because it got really out of hand, as you can imagine, how many developers sue towns. And they created the Council on Affordable Housing, COA, which was an avenue, an agency for municipalities to comply voluntarily. COA was supposed to spit out your quota every 6 years and what later became every 10 years. And ultimately, fast forwarding, they did it at first, they did their job. You'll hear me refer to the prior round obligation. That's 1987 to 1999. That's when they were doing their job. So they did spit out a quota for you for those years, and then they stopped. They stopped doing everything. They failed in 2004 to adopt regulations. They failed in 2008, and ultimately they failed in 2014. And then the Supreme Court said enough is enough. We're throwing you guys back to the wolves. This is all going to court again. So that's how we end up in court, and that's how we end up where we are. So that 2015 case I'll refer to as Mount Laurel 4. In Mount Laurel 4, they said, okay, you can file a DJ action, which is what we did, and you can seek voluntary compliance. There were a number of major